This is Rijul Ray, who is currently working as an actor and a voiceover artist. So, Rijul, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a brief of your career so far?
Sure. Hi, Johan. Um, yeah, I graduated from Cody in 2010, and I wanted to take a gap year, but for various reasons, I left for the US and enrolled in Connecticut College, a small liberal arts college on the East Coast, where I was in IR, International Relations, and economics major. But then about a year and a half later, I decided to drop out. And well, initially my plan was to take a year off and then head back to the States. So I came back home because with an F1 visa in the US, you can't really get a job. So I came back home and I started working. I did my first musical in Bangalore. And then after a few shows, I met a studio guy who said, "Hey, you've got an interesting voice. Why don't you come on over and record, a sample or whatever, a voiceover sample?" And that was actually the beginning of my voiceover career as well. So with these two, you know, kind of with theater and voiceovers happening, I thought, wow, I've got myself what seems to be the beginning of a career because it started taking shape. And then I thought, why would I go back to college now? So I dropped out and I started doing voiceovers regularly. And then my parents said, okay, whatever, get a degree. Now that you're here, just go to college and finish it off. So I went to a university in Bangalore called Christ University, where I studied Carnatic vocals, classical. And yeah, I'd never stopped doing theater, even when I was in college. So I kept doing professional theater in the sense that we were doing ticketed shows, we were traveling, and then I think things started to really move. So once I graduated from college, I felt free, and then I went to I lived in various places: Chennai, Pondicherry, Bombay. Yeah, and then I joined a solid, well-reputed theater company called Adi Shakti, where I lived and worked for 2 years, and yeah, and now I'm back in Bombay.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's the
So,
general timeline. 2000
yeah,
and 2010 to 2020. It's been 10 years now.
cool. So, what is your main motivation to work as an actor and a voiceover artist, and what did you study?
What did I study? Where in Kodi or?
Mm, Kodi, were you in dramatics?
Yeah, so I did the full IB in Kodi, but I did do theater throughout. In fact, I feel like I was formally introduced to the craft of theater in Kodaikanal thanks to various people. Um, my English teacher, uh, Isabel Parkinson, Ellen Dash Walter, and many people. So it started in Cody, but I mean, it was just I didn't do IB drama or anything. I was an HL English student, business and management and economics, which is why after that again I went back. I mean, in university, in college in the States, I was an economics and IR major. But all that aside, I'm motivated to do what I do uh, because I really enjoy doing it. And a friend of mine sat me down, I remember in 2011, and said, "Hey, Rijul, good that you like what you're doing, but can you monetize your passion?" And at that point, I was like, "Dude, money doesn't matter. Money will come." And he said, "No, no, no, no. You've got to think about this because you'll have needs later on, and it's not fair to say kind of be dependent on anybody for these things. You'll feel good about yourself. Then I said, yeah, it's a good idea to kind of to think about how lucrative my industry can be, and think. So once I started thinking about that, things really changed. I became more organized, and so yeah, I think that combination is very important. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm able to monetize that passion. So so yeah, but beyond that, I feel like it's the only, as of now, these are the only two or three things, voiceovers, playing a few instruments, singing, performing. These are the few things that I do with all my heart. I kind of dive into. Apart from this, I mean, yeah, I can't think of I've never done any internships. I think I did one briefly and then I didn't enjoy it. I haven't done anything else that I really, really derive inspiration and satisfaction from. So yeah, I think that's really my motivation, and I'm aware that it's not easy, it's not fun all the time, and so yeah, it's not like I'm infatuated with my career and my craft. I'm aware of the drawbacks, but I like it, and I think I'm here to stay for a while. And now I'm sort of moving into film slowly, so that's again very exciting.
It's
Does that
great that
answer?
you, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great that you're following your passions. So, where has your work been featured?
So I started off in theater, live theater, because now, I mean, a lot of performances seem to be moving into Zoom, and that sort of online territory. But yeah, I started doing live theater in 2011, and I mean, I've performed all over the country. So in that sense, my theater work has been featured in I'd say most of the major theater festivals in India and outside India. In 2018, with Adi Shakti, I traveled to Mexico, where we performed at one of the largest theater festivals in the world, uh, Festival Internacional Cervantino. And I've performed in Singapore at the Kala Utsavam. We've also performed in Milan, Italy, and yeah, some at some in Bombay we have. I mean, what's it called? The Tata Lit Fest, which is another big one. Serendipity in Goa. So yeah, in that sense, I've um, I've traveled quite a bit within the country. I'm always looking forward to doing more shows inside India and outside India, and that'll happen. Uh, and apart from that, yeah, my work has been, I've got reviews in the Hindu, by people like Mahesh Dattani, uh, and Vikram Fukan. So yeah, I'd say those are the few places where my work has been featured. And apart from that, my digital work, my film work is kind of, I think you might still see me in a big basket ad on YouTube, or you know, you might hear some of my voiceovers. I was the voice for Trivago. I was in a Titan ad, so I've done a lot of ads, many voiceovers, and fingers crossed. Hopefully, I have an interesting film project coming up, and once that's out, there are various online platforms like Netflix that that might be somewhere in the horizon. So let's see.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So, what guidance would you like to give some fellow students who are also interested in taking up a career in being a voiceover artist or be it in acting?
Okay. I'd say okay. I want to be careful about what I want to say. what I have to say. Okay, I think it's very important that you have a solid base, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. You need to have emotional support that kind of that you can keep kind of returning to and drawing energy and inspiration from, because it's a really tough field. And I think given the news in the past in the past month or so, I guess my industry has been the acting industry, the film industry has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. You talk about the case, the Sushant Singh Rajput case, or many other cases of nepotism and this and that, and you realize it's a really tough industry to break into, especially film. Now that's specifically film, but even theater and voiceovers, I think you have to prepare yourself for a lot of rejection, a lot of good times as well. I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of people will have your back. But I'd say start with that. Start with your base, your emotional base, and then of course, then I think it's like any other job. Get your fundamentals straight, the craft. Um, if you're a voiceover artist, it's important to read up on voiceover literature. It's important to also be out in the field so that you've got a balance of theoretical and the practical. And yeah, I think that, and it's important to remember that it's not just acting. There's a whole bunch of professions. I mean, after I got into acting, I realized, wow, I can be a light designer for plays. I can be a film editor. I mean, the options are endless today. I can be a talent manager, a talent scout, a casting director. You know, so I'd say once you get your fundamentals straight, then just go for it, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, because Bombay, many other places are filled with people who just want to bring you down, and that's when you realize, yeah, the importance of my Cody school network, or my family, or my friends, or and if you're strongly connected to where you come from, I feel like nothing can stop you. So yeah, that was a roundabout response, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. So thank you, Rijul. Thank you so much for that great advice, and see you soon.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, thank you.